This is a national emergency. We need everyone to rally together to beat this virus and preserve the jobs, the health, the dignity of the American worker. Which brings me to Senator Elizabeth Warren, who rolled out her own $750 billion stimulus package earlier today, including subsidies to have paid leave, unemployment insurance boosts, aid to state governments, lots for the healthcare system, Social Security benefit increases, student debt cancellation, and major investments, yes, indeed, in all the public health areas that we need so badly. You may not agree with all this, okay? You may not agree. But big picture, she's right about the scale of the problem. So let's check in with Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. She's the ranking member of the Senate Subcommittee on Financial Institutions and Consumer Protection, and, of course, a former presidential candidate. Senator Warren, welcome back to Mad Money.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
All right, Senator, the scale of this is pretty much beyond actually the ken of most people in America. You're offering some specific proposals. What I'd like to hear are what are the ones you think need to be done now in order to preserve the health, safety, and welfare of the American people?
Well, you start this in the right place, because the first thing we have to think about is the health of the American people. And that means right now, we need to guarantee that we're ramping up on the testing and making testing available for this virus, and that it will be available free to everyone, because we want people to get tested. We should also guarantee right now that as soon as a vaccine is developed, it will be available free to everyone, because we want everyone to get vaccinated. And we should guarantee right now that there will be a pot of money available to cover everyone who has to miss work for a day or several days, either because they have the virus or because they are taking care of someone who has the virus. Those are good for all of us in terms of our health and reduce the amount of contagion. They are also good for us economically. So that's where I start every part of this. Beyond that, it is time now to be thinking about a big stimulus package. Look, we've just seen what happened with the markets closing. We need to show that we have a government that understands the scale of this problem and understands that the approach to it is to get money, not just generally hose down the economy, but to get it down into the hands of the people who will put it down at the grassroots level and help support this economy from the ground up. So Senator, that's the basic approach.
It does. I see when you've added to your proposal. I can't agree with you more about the size. Something that really sticks out to me: low or no interest loans to companies of all sizes that have negatively been affected by the coronavirus. So if I keep my workers on my payroll, I can get a no interest loan, even if I'm not getting any people, no customers in. I can keep paying them because of those loans.
Exactly. And you've put it exactly right. This is not saying we're going to lend the money out, no strings attached. It's that you've got to keep the people on your payroll. That keeps money in the economy. And if you'll do that, we'll keep lending you the money to see us past this crisis moment. That will help the economy in multiple ways, keep these businesses open, so that when people are venturing out again, and we are putting money in from the other direction, so people have got money in their hands, so people are still earning their paychecks, they'll have open stores to come to and goods to buy. This keeps the circle going, and that's what we want to do in this economy.
Another group of people have been disenfranchised by the rising costs of higher education. Student loans have been such a burden to people. I know it's sacrilegious to ever talk about it, but I think at this time, it's time for sacrilege. Student loan debt cancellation. Tell us about it.
Yep. So, look, here's the basic idea, is I want to put this issue on the table. Think about how we get money into the hands of the people who need it most and who will spend it quickly, because that's what you want. You want real velocity of this money. And we know that if we can relieve this burden for young people, $600 a month you're not having to spend over the next 3 months on your student loan debt. Think about what that means. Makes it much easier on the student, and it's just like giving them cash. It means money that they can put back into the economy. And it's a perfect place to put it. And notice the two places I want to balance this out are with students, which tends disproportionately to be young people, although there are people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s and on who are still dealing with student loan debt, but disproportionately young people. In addition, I think we should be increasing Social Security payments and disability payments. My proposal is increase it $200 a month. agree to do it at least for a year, that guarantees people more money coming in. And there's a great paper out by Christy Romer, I hope you take a look at it, that shows that money going into the hands of Social Security recipients is money that goes straight back into the economy, and that's what we want to see.
I'm familiar with that, and you're absolutely right, and it's empirical. Now, Senator, how about something everyone in this country and every company at various times right now has to pay the government? This is a time where you have to take money that you have and give it to the government. What would you think about the government doing a gigantic, say, a $500 billion Treasury offering, rates are very low, and making it so that we can take a break? Maybe it's a 60-day break where no one has to pay the government because it's running on that money. Too crazy? Too right? Given this national emergency, don't we want that?
So here's my concern about that, Jim. I like the scale you think in, but here's my concern. It disproportionately goes to people with more money.
True.
And the problem is, we all know that in a crisis, when you're trying to boost the economy and stimulate the economy, putting more money into the pockets of people who already have a lot of money does not increase the number of pizzas they buy, does not keep them out buying more consumer goods. Putting that same amount of money into the hands of people who are living closer to the economic margins, like people who are dealing with student loan debt or people who are living on disability payments or Social Security, that's how that money makes it faster back into the economy. So if you assume we're only going to spend a certain amount of money here, I'd much rather see us target it rather than an across the board that disproportionately advantages rich folks.
You're absolutely right, Senator Warren. I guess, I am trying to think as big as you are. I do believe that you have got commonsensical ideas. Now, I know you have been critical of the administration, and I think that is absolutely in the purview of everyone. But I have to say that the things that you're mentioning are something that any Republican or any Democrat should find as common sense. Do you think there can be common ground, or are you just too far apart from the president?
I hope there can be. When we see today, just what we've seen today, the number of increased number of deaths, number of people who've been diagnosed, concerns in communities all across this country where we're starting to close public schools, shut down events, museums are closed, sporting events are shutting down. The Boston Marathon may be postponed for several months. That as we're watching this, at the same time that the stock market is dropping, as you will talk about a lot, and the economic impact is beginning to shake the foundations of the economy, I hope that means that in Washington, we can set aside the politics and actually come together for the health and the security of this country.
I think your commonsensical view will allow that. I know that you still have not chosen who you will support for president. If it was this issue, which is an issue that is of ultimate importance to this country, who do you think could handle it better?
Now, look. Right now, I'm pushing the Trump administration to do a better job. That's the urgency of this moment.
I like your answer.
And that's what we need to do. So let's talk about what we could do tomorrow, because that's what we need to do.
And I so appreciate you coming on with common sense ideas to help the American worker, who is the most exposed, and for also telling me that my proposal does advantage the rich too much. Because you know what? We need to be told things like that. I needed it too. Senator Warren, thank you so much for coming on Mad Money.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to see you.
Excellent. Provocative, smart, big, thinking big. And so will the White House. Mad Money's back into the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @Jim Cramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.